Good morning. Good morning. How is everybody doing? Happy Monday. And I know a lot of people call like Motivational Monday, getting ready Monday, Mission Monday. Well, I'm just going to say happy Monday. Let's just do it like that. Let's just make it simple today. Happy Monday, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. This is Barbara Beckley, and you are in the presence of the Diamond Factor Experience Show with Barbara Beckley and her wonderful specialists and experts. So, with that, before we start, I always want to start with something positive, something you can think about, just a small little quote. And another thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be bringing certain books that you might want to read and look into. So, today I've been reading, before I get into my quote, always, they always say knowledge is power, right? Knowledge is power. So this book that I've been reading by Grant Cardone is called Sell or Be Sold: How to Get Your Way in Business and in Life. I like how he's really direct. And Grant Cardone, he's very direct with everything he says and he does. So I might be coming with some small little nuggets within this book. So if you are interested, Grant Cardone, this is an awesome book. I ordered it like a month ago, and I really been getting a lot of insight on it when it comes to business and selling and how to sell and how to soft sell, all the good nuggets. So with that, quote for today: don't ever underestimate the impact that you may have on somebody else's life. Don't ever underestimate the impact that you may have on someone else's life. And I say that because these past Saturday mornings, I have, I'm telling you, it's just awesome. And it's a part of it. Youth is so important. Dealing with the youth is so precious. And for the past Saturdays, and I think I have like 4 more, I've been on a Zoom youth leadership and communication for like an hour and a half with some wonderful young, I call them young queen ladies. And they are working on their communication and leadership skills between the ages of 10 to 16. Now, I always look at them, I said, you know what? I got to give you awesome kudos just coming on a Zoom on a Saturday morning, talking about communication, talking about speaking, talking about leadership. And just for me to say the little nuggets that I try to give them to understand how to speak and pause, we're giving them little tips and stuff. And they're just like eating it up. And I told them, I said, some adults don't even do that. So with that, I just give an honor to them. And I just want you to know that those little things like that creates a big impact in someone else's life, and especially with the youth. And that's so important. So with that, let's get on with this show. Here we go. Okay, now I have to laugh at myself. So I'm sitting there watching the intro and I'm kind of jamming with the music. And then all of a sudden my computer started fading and getting dark. And I was like, oh no, wait a minute, I'm on live. I can't lose everybody. Come to find out my core of my laptop came out. So I just adjusted that because I don't want to lose everybody. But it was just funny because it's like, it's getting dim, it's getting dark. What's going on? What's going on? Technology, you just have to love it. But see, that wasn't technology. That was a human mistake. That was me. I'm authentic. I'll tell you when it's real. So with that said, we're going to get right into it. We have our Monday expert coming on, Mr. Iqbal Acha. I'm telling you, You're talking about some golden nuggets. You're going to get a lot of those. So we're going to go right into it. We're going to get his introduction. And then the next voice that you will hear after the introduction is Mr. Iqbal Acha.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another magnificent Monday. I want to welcome you to the show, Barbara. Good morning to you. And certainly I know what technology can be like, right? Now, sometimes it's a technology error that starts us off in the morning, but hey, we're resilient people. We push through. Everyone, my name is Iqbal Acha. I'm a career consultant, a leadership coach, and a personal branding expert. And for the past 25 years, I've been helping students, professionals, and executives advance their career, build a better brand, and create a lasting legacy. And today, we're going to talk all about job search. I'm going to share with you some surprising statistics, some interesting insights, and some wonderful ways to help you kickstart your job search and amplify your efforts for better, faster results. Now, before we begin diving into the details, I think it's important that we talk about some statistics and current mindsets to really help us get a better picture of the current climate of career advancement today. So first, did you know that the average job search in the United States takes 5 months? 5 months. And in fact, with COVID-19, that average has almost doubled. So the reality is that job hunting can be a long, arduous process. And while some professionals can find a new job right away, others, it takes time. It takes months, takes weeks of preparation, and a lot of effort to go through that process. So fact number one, on average, the job search in the United States takes about 5 months. Statistic number two, did you know that 70% of people who are currently employed are also looking for a new job? Think about that for a second. If you're a new graduate, you're already focused on finding a competitive edge over hundreds, thousands of other graduates with the same degree as you. Now, on top of that, you're competing with people that have experience and in the workforce. And it's going to be more competitive for you to be able to find a position when they're looking for it as well. Statistic number three, did you know that 60% of all jobs are found through networking, not online searches? That's correct. On average, only 4% of online job searches and internet job postings result in a hire. That's why growing your network is so important, and tapping into it is even more crucial. So we've talked about a few statistics. Let me share with you some mindsets. And what I mean by mindset is how people approach their job search strategy or even when they initiate it. So when I speak with students, professionals, and executives, the majority of them have shared with me that they really don't start looking, researching, even investigating opportunities and positions unless they feel that there is an impending reason to do it. Now, whether it's a student in her final year of college with a graduation just about 6 months away, or a currently employed professional who's grown tired of his position, job search is often an exaggerated reaction to a current situation or an upcoming event. But after working 15 years in talent acquisitions, and if it's taught me anything, it is the power of information and trend or data analysis that separates the winners from the wannabes. Continuous and ongoing research is the best job search strategy for everyone because it empowers you, the candidate, with an opportunity to do 5 things. I apologize, to do 4 things. Number one, it allows you the opportunity and the foresight to identify new companies in an industry and track their growth. You'll see new markets or new entrants into a market, whether they're a small business or a recent merger, where they're actually exploring new opportunities and developing new products and services that you may not have heard of before, where your skill sets can be a match. It also offers you the opportunity to compare the stability and the expansion potential for established companies. So if you're ever thinking of a big Fortune 500 company, a lot of them are able to weather a lot of different financial, economic, and even health storms. However, the stability and the longevity of a company are things that you can track to help identify where they are going to grow in new areas that might be of interest to you. Third, it'll allow you to explore new roles within an existing industry based on similar skills. I talk to a lot of clients who have a very tunnel vision of what options exist for them. As a healthcare professional, they know that they can only work in this space, or this space, when in reality, that degree will open up multiple doors in different areas of the company that still impact that business just from a different perspective. And finally, and most importantly, it allows you, the candidate or the job seeker, to research benefits, salaries, and most importantly, employee satisfaction reviews to gauge an organization's values. Have you ever wanted to work for a company because you thought that they were doing a great job and that they must obviously pay their employees very well, but you didn't have the statistics or the information to prove it? Let me tell you, there are plenty of online resources available to help you find this information very quickly. And best of all, it's free. So let's talk about some of these resources where I encourage my clients to do some digging and do some research, because if you want to apply to a job, it's helpful to get an insider's look as to what they're experiencing. Number one, employees often leave anonymous reviews on popular websites like Glassdoor and Indeed. You can find a lot of people who have left, a recent experience or what they like about their company, what they think about their CEO on Glassdoor and Indeed. But you can also find reviews written by employees on Yelp and Google. Sometimes it's good to get a varied perspective on how people see things, and some people are more familiar and more comfortable in different areas. So keep that in mind, that while Glassdoor and Indeed are typically your go-tos for anonymous reviews, you'll also find things on Yelp and Google. Now, the big question is usually about salary. Wouldn't you like to know how much you are going to get paid if you want to apply for a particular job? Well, while salary data is typically confidential, there are plenty of websites that have anonymously collected, curated, and now share that content with people online for free. Payscale, salary.com, and Glassdoor are typically the best sources to find a curated list of self-reported salaries for specific jobs and titles. Now, maybe you're thinking, well, I really like to have a better handle on the company. I'm not really sure what this company does, or I know about that company through a friend, but I don't know what they're really working on. Well, there are, from startups to Fortune 500 companies, there are tons of business magazines that dedicate and actually provide daily updates on new initiatives, on achievements, and on organizational goals specific to your interest. The ones that I typically turn to include Business Insider, Inc. 5000, and of course, Fortune 500 or Fortune magazine. Now, while it's always a good time to conduct a job search, there are some times of the year where it's the best time to conduct a job search, and sometimes where it's probably not as helpful. Let's talk about the good times first. The good times, and probably the best times to look for opportunities and do some research or apply, is January and February. You may be thinking at the beginning of the year, why is that, Iqbal? Well, typically, January and February is the start of a new fiscal year for most companies. And that's when companies typically approve hiring budgets. And it's also the time when recruiters and hiring managers come back to work after a nice long holiday vacation. They're very eager to fill their position. They have an approved budget, and they want to get the job done fast so that they can get moving on to the regular day-to-day operations. Now, while January and February are good, there are still the rest of the year is pretty good too. You'll find that in the spring after Q2, such as April, May, and June, that's also a good opportunity and a good time to look for jobs, because new positions do appear and do become available through turnover, through retirements, through a variety of reasons. But I have learned over the years that there's probably one separate section or one time of the year where looking for jobs can be a little bit harder, and that's during quarter four, or typically October, November, and December. Now, it's not to say that job opportunities don't exist during that time. It's just companies at that time reassess their business needs and their budgets, and they need to actually reassess the positions that they currently have open so that they can decide how and when to move forward. Oftentimes, most companies will put some of their positions on hold or they'll cancel them completely in October, November, and December, and they won't necessarily reopen them again until the next year. So you can still look, just know that sometimes October through December is a little bit less plentiful and bountiful than the rest of the year. So we've talked about job search. We talked about when you should do it. We've talked about where you can find some valuable information. The next step, of course, is actually applying for the jobs that you find. Now, I mentioned earlier that on average, only 4% of hires actually are made through an application through an online job posting. Yet, I find that the majority of job seekers spend hours, days, weeks, even months online creating profiles, attaching resumes, and applying to positions left and right, only to receive a rejection or worse, nothing at all. Your application falls into the black hole. The truth is, looking for a job can be a job in itself, and it's really better to work smarter, not harder. And in fact, most job postings on career websites are not necessarily accurate or active. I should know because in the years that I've been working in talent acquisitions and I've been helping clients, most internets are actually what are called job aggregators, not job boards. And job aggregators scan and scrape information off of other companies' career websites and they place it on their own. Now, don't get me wrong. Job aggregators are a great way to get a bird's eye view of all the different companies, of all the different positions, and of all the different opportunities that may be available. But job aggregators aren't 100% accurate. And sometimes they will scrape information that is improper, incorrect, or expired. It's not uncommon to see a position on a job aggregator like Google Jobs or even Indeed that when you click the link, it says, sorry, this link doesn't exist anymore. Because most of the jobs on job aggregators are, again, not actually put there by the company. So while it is a numbers game, there are ways to increase your odds for career advancement and, of course, hiring success. So I have 5 strategies that I'd like to share with you, and I'm going to recommend you to use at least 1 or 2, maybe all of them, to help you get, a better success rate on your applications, to help you get called back for an interview, and to receive an offer letter faster than the old apply, wait, and pray method. Number 1, and this is probably the best recommendation I have, request a referral. Employers love receiving referrals from a trusted member of their staff. And most jobs are actually filled internally with people that are already working for the company or through a referral from an employee that's currently employed. My best suggestion is you start by identifying close colleagues and associates within your industry and letting them know that you're actually interested, you're open for work, you're interested in working for their company, and you'd love an opportunity to see if there's someone that you can talk to that might have an opening. Ask them to refer you to someone in their circle and see if they'd be open for a conversation. Now, typically, most of the time, most consultants will say, go out for lunch or go out for coffee. I think that's a little presumptuous, and especially during COVID-19, it's probably not the right approach. But a 15-minute conversation where that allows you to share a little bit about yourself, learn more about the individual and the company and his or her department, helps you start a relationship that may not have existed before, all because a friend puts you in touch with them. Remember, nobody can help you find a job if they don't know you're looking for one. And remember, networking isn't about who you know. It's about who knows you and who likes what they see. Recommendation number 2, contact a search firm or a recruiting agency. Years ago, agencies used to focus on either just temporary or hourly workers, or they had a niche in executives, senior level executives. Well, ladies and gentlemen, times have changed, and most placement firms today cater to all levels of employment, especially in large metropolitan areas. You will find placement firms that are healthcare industry-based niche, financial based focused, even legal based. But for the most part, the majority of placement firms are looking to find top talented individuals with experience to place them in positions with companies that are really looking earnestly for their next director, manager, vice president, and so on and so forth. And studies have actually shown that working with an established, reputable search firm is 4 times more effective than just depending on your resume alone. Now, most search firms will actually charge the employer, not the candidate, when a placement match happens. So you actually don't have anything to lose. Go contact, and you can Google search firms, placement firms, recruitment firms, and do a search to identify what their star rating is. There's plenty of high quality executive and placement firms that have a 4-star, 5-star rating. There's a list actually available that was done last year in 2019 that ranks the best search firms. And I would recommend that you look at those and identify some that may be within your niche, but also that have a high star rating because they actually have relationships with companies that are looking for that talent. Recommendation number 3, sign up for alerts directly with the hiring company's career page. Now, once you've identified a company that you would want to work for, go to their careers page and sign up either for their talent community or their careers website for job alerts. Joining a talent community is a new venture for most organizations because they want to be able to have a relationship with you online by providing you information about their company, talking to you about some of the initiatives that they're working on, some achievements, and empowering you with information to keep you involved in their progress. So when you are hired, you'll actually be a part of their culture and a part of their organization already. It's a fantastic way to build a relationship. And if you join the community, you will get probably first access to a lot of their information that they're coming out with. But even more importantly, and on a selfish basis, if you sign up for a job alert directly with the company, you will be notified of a job once it is posted on their website. Remember, we talked about job aggregators and job boards? There's typically a delay of anywhere between 24 hours or one whole day up to 7 days. And that time frame is really important because some jobs will only be open for 3 days. And a job aggregator may find a job and put it out on their website 5 days later, but it'll be too late. Signing up directly with the company for a job alert empowers you and informs you quickly when a new job opportunity that matches your interest becomes available, and you can get your application in faster and hopefully get it ranked higher. I think a lot of people focus on just the company websites, but I will also share with you that there are plenty of opportunities for different professionals, graduates, and people with different work experiences on state and federal websites as well. USA Jobs, Illinois Jobs, multiple job fairs and college career events offer these types of events. USA Jobs and Illinois Jobs, or going and Googling state employment agencies, is a great resource to find jobs that maybe you may have overlooked or were completely unaware of. I have helped a lot of my clients transition out of a corporate setting into a government role because of some of these websites. And I'll also tell you that enhancing your network is very critical. So attending a job fair today, in today's world, virtual job fairs are pretty prevalent, and you'll find them advertised well on a lot of different websites. Colleges also have career fairs as well. But I'll also tell you that if you are a member of a professional association, a lot of them are offering webinars and as well as job fairs as well. These are different ways for you to interact with companies, recruiters, hiring managers, engaging them with questions and learning about current and potential employment opportunities that are up and coming in the near future. The last recommendation I have, and it's going to tie back into the last episode that we talked about quite a bit, was having a professionally written resume. Last week, I mentioned that 75% of all resumes are not even seen by a human being. And having a professionally written resume is important because you need to be able to capture your experiences, education, and expertise in a way that impresses both the computer and the company representative. Learning to have that and creating that allows you to be able to advance your application potential and actually find and apply to jobs faster by having it in a PDF format and quickly applying directly. I hope you found these ideas and insights to help you professional journey. And if you have any questions at all or you want to learn more, feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn. Until then, I'm Iqbal Acha, your career consultant, leadership coach, and personal branding expert, and I'm wishing you nothing but success. Barbara?
Awesome, Iqbal. Thank you so much. Some wonderful tips. Wonderful tips. This is the time, Iqbal, and I just want to say, you're coming in at the right time, at the really right time, because I know with everything going on in the world, pandemic and everything else, and we're online, this is good resource that people can start taking in and using it and applying it. So, Iqbal, just what would you just the one thing what would you give advice to the viewers of what to do like right now, like an action item?
Wow, there's so many different things, but I think that everybody has to start somewhere, right? And the majority of the people I'm speaking with today have a tendency to know they don't want to be where they're at. They just don't know where they want to go. And in a lot of these potential cases and prospective clients that I'm speaking with, a lot of them need help to identify the parameters and the factors that's most important to them. For some people, it's salary. For some people, it's job title. For others, it's managing a team. We work through that process to figure out, hey, if you could only have one thing land in your lap, what would it be? And we work with that so that we can find jobs that match that. So I think it's important for people to recognize that everybody would love to make a six-figure salary and lead a team of 17 people or have this title. But let's prioritize that to know what's the one non-negotiable in your job search so we can build a strategy that works towards achieving that goal.
Yes, I love that. Thank you so much. It's really important. It's really important. I was talking about the other day about focus, and you have to do that when you are doing your job search and what you're trying to do. And there's nothing wrong. One thing that I've done recently, because I'm changing a little bit with my whole career and what I'm doing right now, as you can kind of see, is I researched. I researched the field that I'm going into and that I'm working with because I want to see nothing's wrong with what the other experts or what other people are doing within the field that you're looking for to kind of study them. I know some people, what they do, Iqbal, is I used to do this. I call executives and said, do you have like a time just for an informational interview with me? It's not me going there trying to get in the company. It's basically just getting information to see how I can grow and see what they're doing and get some kind of skills and what they can give me some feedback. Would you
I think that's
encourage
a
that?
brilliant plan, Barbara. I think that most people are afraid to reach out to strangers. And I will tell you that, especially if this year has taught us anything, it is the best time to reach out to a stranger because you don't know what you can actually offer to them in terms of value. It can be a kind word. It can be some advice. It can be your experiences that you've had in your past workplace that maybe can solve a problem for them. You'll never know that. But I always encourage people, like, reach out. The worst that somebody is going to do is ignore you or just say no. And that's fine. Move on.
Yeah. And I've learned that, like you just said, what can they do? They can say no. I mean, if they say no, you move forward and don't, at least you did reach out and you tried. That's what I always tell people. Because I know some people are like,
Agreed.
well, I don't want to say no, but at least you did, because maybe if they say yes, then what? then you hit something. So yeah. So
Then
Iqbal, thank
that's a
you
good
so
problem
much.
to have.
Oh yeah, that is a good problem to have. So Iqbal, thank you so much again. And please reach out to Iqbal. Like I said, he's here. You see, he's just love all the resources and information that he has. He's so talented, consultant, personal branding, everything that you can think of regarding that. Iqbal is the person. He is the expert on this show, and he comes on every Monday. Any last tips for this week for anybody, Iqbal?
I would say keep positive, keep polite, be persistent, be positive.
Oh, I like that. That's good. I should have wrote that down. No, that's okay. This is being taped.
Outstanding. Thank you, Barbara. Bye, everyone. See you next
Thank
week.
you. Bye, Bo. See, I'm telling you. Oh my God. Oh my God. I don't know. I'm excited. Okay, everybody, you have to understand, I'm going to be excited for a few more weeks because this is a new show and this is new, adventures that I'm taking, and with all the wonderful experts that are coming on. So I just want everybody to know, I've been noticing something now since I started my show. I've been getting little gifts. Yes, I got a gift, and I don't even know this person. And I think because they said since it's the month of Thanksgiving, so I got a little cup. Look at this, thankful. Isn't that cute? So I said, you know what? I'm going to start drinking out of this and drinking my little uh basically in here is some coffee to keep me awake. But I just want to thank them for this. I was like, this is so nice. It's so pretty. Look at that. So I thank the person that gave me, because they didn't even put a name on it. They just said, Barbara, for starting your show, I'm sending you a gift. So I thought that was very lovely that now I have a cup there. And it gave me an idea, because now I'm thinking I might get my branding and put it on a coffee cup. So I think maybe that's why they sent it to me, because maybe it gave me an idea to do what I needed to do. So before we go into our next specialist today, Mr. Harlan McMath, you know what we have to do. We got to make sure that we're giving our sponsors their due. So once we do that, let me do that real quickly and I'll be back. That is Dia Body Care. And next time I need to make sure you get her website. Her products are so awesome. I mean, I have her skincare and it feels so good. I'm telling you, it just feels so good on your body. So we want to support our sponsors, and there will be a few more. And also, just to let you know, if you do want to become a sponsor on the Diamond Factor Experience Show with Barbara Beckley, please let me know through Messenger or my email. It's showyourdiamond@gmail.com, and we can have a talk so we can get you out there and we can get exposure for you on the Diamond Factor Experience Show. So with that, I'm going to be adding some things here and there. So you're going to see me doing some different things on the show. So before I bring on Mr. McMath, our specialist, I want to do some trivia. So since this is the month of Thanksgiving, I think I'm just being thankful, and really being honest with you, every day, not just November, you should be thankful. So I'm going to do a trivia. We get to learn some things. So I brought up something. So everything for this month that I'm going to be bringing is something that has to do with Thanksgiving and thankfulness and all that stuff. So this one is, who was the captain of the ship, the Mayflower? Who was the captain of the ship, the Mayflower? Okay, who was captain? So I'm going to let you think on that, and I'll give you the answer after we get done with Mr. McMath, okay? So again, who was the captain of the ship, the Mayflower? And with that said, let's bring on, yes, Mr. Harlan. How are we doing, sir?
I'm good today. How are you?
Uh-oh, I can't hardly hear you. You're in and out. Is a connection going crazy?
No, the connection's good. I said, how are you today?
I'm doing really good. You're kind of in and out on our end, so just to let you know. So
I want to be in, not out.
You sound like Mickey Mouse.
Oh wow!
It's like, no, you sound like the robot, like I'm the robot.
Well, thank you. Is that better?
We have fun. We have fun on this show. Say it again.
Is that better?
A little bit. Wherever you're at, the connection is like, ugh. But we will try to work with it. So what today, I mean, you come on as our our expert when in the field, you know, educating us. Oh, excuse me. So just real quickly, introduce yourself real quickly and introduce what you're going to talk about today.
Name's Harlan McMath. I have combined 20 years of experience in law enforcement, have a degree in business, and I'm currently a LLC. Today, I'm going to talk about electoral votes, being that we're still in an election campaign, which some feel should already be over, but our current president feels that there has been some tampering. So what he's been doing is sending out these lawyers to key states, which is Michigan, Wisconsin, uh, Pennsylvania, and Nevada, to see if there has been any voting fraud. But
Okay.
from what's been coming in from the lawyers of the state and the judges of the state is that he's sending empty documentation, meaning if I say you hit my car, but then there's no dent on my car, then I filed a false report. And this is basically what is happening with the voting campaign. Now, the state of Georgia was kind enough to say, we'll do another recount. So Georgia has done the second recount, and now they're into their third recount, which is done basically by hand. But even if he wins this electoral state, which I seriously doubt he'll win because of the lead that Biden had when they finished the second recount, is he still will not have enough electoral votes to maintain the presidency. Electoral votes came about because they wanted a way to get each state to speak that who the people of that state wanted to be the president. So you can actually win the popular vote, but you can still lose the electoral vote. But in this case, the president-elect has won both the popular vote and the electoral vote. Last count, it was I believe 286 or 290 to 233, give or take something of that statute. Being Georgia is the last state to finally make a decision on which way the state will go, and I believe the state will still go blue. But electoral votes came about after the freedom of slavery because certain states wanted to have an input on who the president would be and not just letting the popular vote pick who the president would be. So therefore, electoral votes was established to kind of create a balance among more people over here or less people over here, so we can all have an input on who's going to lead our great nation. So by that being, say you win the state of California, it has 55 electoral votes. So to balance California, you will have to win Florida, Detroit, and Wisconsin, which would then give you a little bit more than 55. So they call these key states and battle states. But basically the states in the middle, like Arizona, Ohio, Indiana, these states have less population, so they have less electoral votes. But you still want to focus on these non-battle states as well, because they can become what you call a swing state. Meaning if you get California, if one side gets California, Arizona, and Michigan, and the other side gets Florida, Pennsylvania, and Georgia, now these small electoral states become what you call a swing state. So if you win Ohio, North Dakota, South Dakota, and Illinois, then that can push your electoral votes up to where you need to be to become the president of the United States. I've been keeping up with what's been going on, and just recently, this morning, the state of Arizona, the state of Michigan, and the state of Wisconsin each said that the president has no grounds or no evidence showing that there has been voter fraud in any of these three states. Now, they haven't, as they say, officially called the election, because Georgia is still in the process of their hand ballot recount. But once Georgia weighs in, that will be all your electoral votes accounted for, and the presidency will be called. But even if the sitting president wins Georgia, it still doesn't give him the 270 that he needs to win. So we as a people, we need to stay the course, stand fast, and believe in our democracy system, because each side saying they want all the votes to be counted. So if you want all the votes to be counted, and once they're counted again, then you need to accept the outcome of what the people want. And if the people want a new president, then we shall have a new president. If we want the current president that is currently seated, then we will have the current president that is currently seated. But from my research, all the holdup is coming from the current president that is seated, meaning he doesn't believe that he has lost the presidency yet, which creates another problem that we talked about last week when I did a fill-in, that by you not allowing the electoral, the president-elect, to get the information he needs to keep this country safe, you're creating a gap, or what's the term I'm looking for? A opening, a small opening for the enemies to come in and damage our democracy as we know it. And that's something we do not want as a people and as a nation. So do you have any questions there, Miss Barbara? Barbara?
Yes, I'm here.
Do you have
I'm
any
here. See, I first of all, thank you for bringing all that information regarding electoral votes, because I myself was a little bit like, well, how do they come about doing the electoral votes? How does each state, figure? I mean, how do you figure out each state has a certain amount? Because you have some states with 20, you have other ones with maybe 2. So I'm glad that you described that to everybody, because it's really important right now, especially what's going on right this second with us in getting the new president in the United States, and how that all arrived. And that the biggest thing is to understand that, we're following the law. I mean, it's not like this is all made up. So I'm glad that, you explained in a little bit more detail to the audience.
Well, electoral votes go by the population of the state. I mean, I think for every 10,000 that's in your state, you get an electoral vote. And I'm just using that number as a round figure. So if California has 120,000 people, for every 10,000, they'll get 1 electoral vote. If Pennsylvania only has 30,000 people, so in that case, they'll only get 3 electoral votes, if it was 1 electoral vote for every 10,000 people. And that's how that came about. So that way each person can have a say in who the president would be, or who the senators would be, or the House of Representatives. So this is why they came about, because back then we didn't have mass communication like we have now. And it was easier to move a couple of people to Washington than move the whole state to Washington to count the ballots. So each state counts their ballots. The ballots then get sealed, and the counts get sealed, and they get passed on to the electorals. And when the electorals go to Washington with that information, they say our state cast this vote for this person to be president. So it was just an easier way to get the information up to Washington, D.C., instead of moving a whole state or moving 300 or 400 people at one time.
Awesome information. Awesome. So now, excuse me. Ooh, got to drink my little coffee in my little new cup, my new mug.
Your thankful
I
mug?
got a person. They sent me. Did you hear me? Did you hear earlier? Somebody sent me a little thankful mug. Isn't that nice?
Thankful mug. Your thankful mug.
Yeah, they just sent it to me, just congratulating me on the show. So I was like, oh, that was nice. Yeah. But anyway, so what, any last thoughts, Harlan, today regarding that to the listeners that you want to add?
Well, the good thing about our country is, since we've been in existence, there has always been a peaceful transfer of power, and that's due to the way the system is set up. No one man has total power over the government of the United States. You have the House, the Senate, and the president, which is your three triangles. And then in your states, it's basically the same thing. You have the governor, you have your House, the Senate, and the state, and you have your House in the state, your Senate in the state, and your governor. So no one man at any time can completely control America with the way it's set up. So once Georgia gets through recounting for a third time, the first time it was done by the computer, second time it was done by hand and computer, and this time it's being done by hand only to make sure that there are no mistakes. So once Georgia get through recounting, the president that be should go ahead and accept the voice of the people, because we the people form a greater union. And again, when we appoint you to this office, we're appointing you because we want you to give some of our worries and some of our actions into power so we can have a better union. So if the people want a new president, then we accept a new president for all the United States. If it shows that the people want the current president, and then the ones who was running against him, we accept that loss and we congratulate the current president as still being the president of the United States. So as long as we
Yes.
stand fast and the law will prevail, sometimes the law is slow at moving, but when it prevails, it's always right.
Yes.
So by the laws and the regulations of the land established by the Constitution of the United States and the amendments, this election will come out on the right side by the law.
Totally agree. Totally agree. So I'm just like, let's get all this counting and stuff out the way so we can start and really just focus on what's to come. And to me, I want to see more peace and more peace and then more togetherness. That's the biggest important thing.
And it's very strategic that they put the voting right before the holidays, because holidays bring people together. As you said, you have your Thanksgiving cup right now, or a thankful mug. So now, once we get this out the way, and Georgia said their counting should be done by the 23rd of this month, so we can go forward and we can enjoy our holidays and we can start healing as a nation.
I'm just glad that they got a date to end this thing. So we can, like I said, so we can move on and move forward. And, just to say, and, next week, I don't know what topic you're going to bring. I know it's going to be another awesome educational that we're all going to learn from. But, this just, to me, I just want the division to, we just need to just move forward, get the division. Let's get together, all together. And let's just make this on, all the, every person, any kind of minority, whatever, we need to be together in what we're doing. So with that, and hopefully, everybody agrees with that. But, it seemed like we're just at this standstill. So we just need to just get it done and move forward. Okay, Mr. Emmanuel, thank you so much. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And once it gets done, we will move forward as a nation. We've always have, and we always will. We have always overcome the bickering among us as a family in the United States of America.
Yes, yes. And again, I just want to, I know Veterans Day was last week, but always, no matter, I don't care any day, I still want to commend you. Thank you for serving our country. I totally honor you and I appreciate you. And I know our audience appreciates you too. So thank you so much again.
Thank you. You have a lovely day.
Yeah, you are. So with that, you'll see Mr. Harlan next Monday with some more good information regarding laws, local, what is it? Local, state, and federal, because he's going to hit all different areas to increase our knowledge of it. So that's one of the reasons why I'm glad that he decided to be a specialist on the show. So Harlan, you have a nice rest of your day and the rest of the week, and we will see you next Monday.
Thank you. And you have a good week as well.
Thank you. Bye. See, I'm telling you, we get all the goodies. Let me get my little sip of I don't know, I'm loving this little mug. You see, I am. Okay, so before we wrap up for today, I did a trivia question. Who was the captain of the ship, the Mayflower? If anybody remember that. So who was the captain of the ship, the Mayflower? Well, it was a male. Just give you a quote, give you a hint. It was a male. His name was Christopher Jones. Christopher Jones. So he was the captain of the ship, the Mayflower. So now today, if you want to do a little Thanksgiving trivia and you don't know really what to say, I just gave you a question and answer for it. So like I said, every show I will put some trivia in there so we can learn. Like I said, remember I said this show is about bringing awareness, motivating, and learning and growing. So with that said, I'm going to bring our last sponsor on, and then we will close for today. The Bradford Group, awesome person. That's the CEO over that, Luana Bradford. She's true awesome. She's one, and she's also, we partner in a lot of wonderful projects that we do, and a lot of services that we both together come together and work for. And you know what? Just saying that, it's really important. And I don't care what anybody says. It's really good to collaborate with others, and you can grow. You can grow just in knowledge, and you can also grow within finances, because people can come together, work on a product together. You have your expertise, they have their expertise. You come together, you have a product, you sell, you get more clients, money grows, right? So it's a win-win for everybody. So always remember to, reach out, and don't be so nervous about collaborating and working with others, because it will work out to be a good thing. But you have to make sure, I'm just going to throw this in as a disclaimer, that you are collaborating with people that you need to collaborate with, and that you can trust them. So you got to go through that part of it too. You just don't want to just anybody, because you want to make sure that it's a good fit. You're collaborating with somebody that's really believing in the goal and the mission and the results of what you want to do. So you both do have a win-win, and it's a positive one at that. So with that, leaving you with the quote that I started with for today and for this week. Excuse me. Don't ever underestimate the impact that you may have on someone else's life. So you have an impact. I don't care where you are, what you're doing, you have an impact. Now, it could be good and it could be bad. So let's just try to make it a positive one at that, because we're all learning and growing again from each other. And you make a difference. Your gifts, your talents make a true difference. That's why I'm always talking about, which my brand name is the Diamond Factor. And I say that is your PPD, your purpose, passion, and drive. You make a difference. That is your diamond in you. Just let it shine for others. And also, and let people know that you're not only just making impact within your own orbit, I say, or your own world. You make an impact with others. So we need you to express those gifts and those talents, so we all could take a good advantage of it and grow together. So with that, I will see you on Wednesday with some other experts that we have during the week. Remember to please always, like I said, create that impact and shine like a diamond. See you on Wednesday.